Good morning, Twin Tiers. Good morning, Twin Tiers. The time now is 6:31. I'm Chelsea Lovell. I'm Chelsea Lovell.
Good afternoon, Tara. That's right. I'm here on East Church Street. You can see behind me right down there is City Hall, and we've heard reports that it has been evacuated, as well as the Chemung County Courthouse and the Chemung County District Attorney's Office. Now, sources have told 18 News that the reason for that evacuation is because City Hall received a bomb threat. Now, nothing has been confirmed, and police are actively on the scene working. What we do know right now is both East Church Street and Lake Street have been closed off to the public. We're not sure how long this closure is going to last, and there's not a lot of details at this time. We do know police are investigating, but we're going to continue to stick with the story as it unfolds and develops. So stick with HE News, both on air and online. Good morning, Grant. I'm live here on Addison Road, and that heavy rainfall last night is continuing this morning, and it's led to major flooding in our area. You can see all of this flooding behind me. If I take any more steps, I have no idea how deep this puddle goes. Now, Steuben County has ordered an evacuation notice for the south side village of Addison.
We are lucky this morning to get an inside look into the ongoing Tokyo Games. Right now, we're being joined by our reporter, Matt Barnes, live from Tokyo. But another team to look at is our women's soccer team. Our USA team just faced Canada, and unfortunately, they lost. Now, if they had won, this would have been the 6th time they played in the final. Only once have the Americans not appeared in the gold medal match during the sport's history of Olympics. So was this an upset, or did it seem like they were off their game? What happened? HE News is working to learn more about this case for you, but wanted to take a step back to look at the legal ramifications for the officer that he could be facing. For this, we're turning to Matthew Bizzetti from the Bizzetti Law Office, who joins us live over Zoom this afternoon. Thanks for talking with us this afternoon, Matt.
Oh, anytime. Thanks for having me.
Well, our first question this afternoon is, what legal ramifications could Officer Gozer be facing? We know he was suspended, but could anything further happen? Right now, gas prices aren't any better, reaching new highs here in the Twin Tiers. Our gas prices are 15 cents higher per gallon than that national average of $4.32. According to AAA, we here in the Twin Tiers can expect to pay on average $4.47 per gallon to fill up. That's up 19 cents from this time last week and up 29 cents from a month ago. State Attorney General Letitia James has begun releasing transcripts and exhibits from the investigation into sexual harassment allegations against former Governor Cuomo. All right, thank you so much, Grant. Well, former Governor Andrew Cuomo was ordered to appear in court following a criminal complaint in Albany City Court. Now, the misdemeanor complaint was filed yesterday, accusing Cuomo of forcibly touching a woman at the governor's mansion late last year. Jamie DeLine is outside the courthouse in Albany with the latest. She begins her coverage this morning. All right, thank you so much, Nick. An employee and customer arrested after state police say an alleged undercharge scheme was uncovered. Rochester police are looking for solutions amid an uptick in violence involving teenagers. Now, this comes after 2 shootings Tuesday night that sent 5 teens to the hospital. Officials say in 2020, there were 37 victims of violence under 18. This year, Rochester has seen 60 victims under 18. The start of football season. I'm looking forward to it. I know you guys love Syracuse up here, but Miami Hurricanes are playing Saturday, and I can't wait. Well, it's just getting more and more like, stay inside.
Yeah,
because outside is too expensive. On Wednesdays, we wear pink.
That's right, Kevin. Good afternoon. I'm live here on South Main Street and West 2nd at the Sunoco gas station here in Elmira. Now, after those cyber attacks last weekend from Colonial Pipeline, many people are worried that already high gas prices are going to continue to rise. Now, you can see here many people have been in and out, but there's not a long backlog. Now, this gas station is charging, you can see right there, $2.89 per gallon. But let's take a look at the gas trends for the Twin Tiers. Hi, Ty. No, I'm not fishing today, but I did read that heavy rain is the ideal weather for trout fishing. Now, AT News has been checking in for you to see when these trout arrive. We started in January, and I'm happy to say that today we finally spotted some trout. That's That's right, Michaela. I'm standing in front of a home at 103 Hilton Drive in Horseheads, where fire crews have been working all morning to put out a blaze. Now I'm going to step out of the way so you can see what the home looks like. Here's what we know so far. From talking to firefighters and the fire chief, they say they got a call around 8 o'clock in the morning. They do know that the fire started in the garage and of course made its way into the home, as you can see. That's right, Ty. Here in the southern tier, we're also getting hit by this nor'easter. So we reached out to both Chemung County and the city of Elmira to find out what their preparations are to keep those roadways you see behind me safe and clear.
Meet Barbie the welder, one of a very small group of women in welding, a group of about only less than 5%. But I'll let her introduce herself.
I'm a full-time metal sculptor. I've been welding for 15 years and got into welding in order to create sculpture that was the whole vision.
And it's taken her a long time to be able to do what she loves full-time.
I'm 7.5 years full-time artist now, that brings me just such great joy.
In that journey, she's also written 6 books teaching other people how to weld, as well as inspirational and self-improvement books, or she says,
irreverent self-improvement books, but self-improvement books nonetheless.
She's currently working on a sculpture.
This is a phoenix. She's half woman, half phoenix. She actually is a self-portrait.
But this sculpture has been in the works for a while.
I started her actually 2 years ago. Because I was blessed with all the commissions, I actually had to set her aside, and she's been sitting out in the driveway for 2 years.
And the process has also taken a while because of her metamorphosis as an artist.
As you grow as an artist, you see things differently, even from yesterday to today. 2 years ago, when I was making her, when I started her, it was the absolute best that I could possibly do. But in 2 years, my goodness, I've learned so much, and I just see it differently.
Barbie shares a sneak peek of the vision of her sculpture titled Rise Up.
This is like a representation of what she's going to look like. Woman, except for without the legs, she's going to have the tail feathers of a phoenix, and that's what these pipes are here.
A phoenix is a sign of rebirth, which is an interesting choice for a self-portrait. Here's the reasoning behind her self-reflection.
I dealt with depression all my life, anxiety, depression. I've gone through alcohol addiction, drug addiction. I have been homeless. I've been arrested more times than I can count on one hand. It seems like another life, but welding has transformed me. It's allowed me to transform myself. It has given me self-confidence, and through that I have literally just rebuilt myself into a woman today. I deeply love myself, and before I literally have spent a majority of my life just hating who I was.
And Barbie believes this isn't just her story. Everyone has a takeaway.
It's all of us, sincerely, because we all have stuff that we go through. We have challenges, we have difficulties. We just all have the ability to rise above who we are or what we're going through, and she represents that.
Reporting for 18 News, I'm Chelsea Lovell.
I was diagnosed when I was 14. Honestly, I could not tell you one certain reason why I developed an eating disorder.
Eating disorders are debilitating conditions that negatively impact a person's life across many domains. They represent the 3rd most common chronic illness. This week is National Eating Disorder Awareness Week, which is especially important to recognize because there has been an uptick in eating disorders among young people during this pandemic. Carolyn Hodges-Chafee is a registered dietitian and director of the nutrition clinic in Soulstone Center in Elmira, and she says she has seen this rise.
We've seen a significant increase in the adolescent and young population, and I would say that in the first 12 months, we probably hospitalized 2 times as many patients as we normally do.
But what's causing the increase?
When you look at causes behind it, one of the first things that patients will say when they come in for treatment is they were individuals that played sports and were pretty physically active, and all of a sudden the sports were gone, and so they were worried about maintaining their health and their fitness level. Also, there was a lot more time that was spent on social media, and the messaging around negative weight or negative body image and weight was very problematic.
22-year-old Maddie Miller says if she hadn't already been recovering from her disorder before the pandemic, she would have struggled even more.
If I was developed an eating disorder during this pandemic, I feel as though I would have been very isolated and alone, and it would have made everything worse.
When we talk about young people, who exactly are we talking about? Local registered dietitian and founder of Nexus Nutrition, Alexander Loritz Salisbury, explains.
If we're really talking about, middle school, high school, where our sole identity is based upon how other people view us, and is this group that really tends to be the most primed for the development of these types of, disordered eating patterns because of, number one, a lack of understanding about the dangers, frankly, of what they're doing.
He goes on to share some shocking statistics.
During that pandemic in 2021, the calls to the National Eating Disorder Hotline increased an estimated 70 to 80%. We know, it's no surprise that when we are feeling isolated, when we're anxious, when we're depressed, when we're scared, these types of conditions are ripe for the development or even exacerbation of eating disorder. And recent research coming from Harvard actually established that the average American gained around an average of 1.5 pounds per month during the pandemic. So even those that may not have previously had any issues with the way they perceive themselves, their body image, may be dealing with the new onset of, maybe they're at a weight that they had never been before. So it really was, unfortunately, a period in which many more of these disordered eating patterns manifested.
20-year-old Marissa Plymale says the rise in eating disorders she has seen has come from one specific app.
TikTok. It'll be disguised as pro-recovery content, where they will show things like, this is the picture of how I looked when I was sick versus how I look now that I'm recovered. And it's disguised as, you can do it, you can recover, this is great. But people who have those thoughts, even myself, you can reverse those images. I see young females mostly commenting on videos of people they see with a desirable body type. And they'll say, I guess I'm not gonna eat today. And everyone just brushes it off.
When spreading awareness about eating disorders, this is what Marissa wants the message for people to be.
I really am hoping that people will understand it is not a desirable personality trait. It's not something cool to be doing. It's not a trend. It's not something that you want to have. You may see a lot of people posting that they now have your desired body type because they went through this, or you see the positive effects of it, but nobody's telling you the tooth decay that can come from having bulimia. Nobody's telling you about how your bones break down when you're starving yourself.
Reporting for 18 News, I'm Chelsea Lovell.